What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Real GP Zerker Edition. If you're new to this series, I've been taking my Zerker account around RuneScape and killing different NPCs for about 20 hours. All of the NPCs and the weapons used throughout the series were voted in by the viewers. In this episode, we are going to be checking out the Real GP for the Skeletal Wyverns. Now, the reason that I did it this way for this series, if you didn't know, is because we're looking to see how much more or less a mid-level account with mid-level gear can make. We're not testing best in slot. We want to find out just how much mid-levels can bring in at these monsters. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this one. First thing we are going to check out with the Skeletal Wyverns is going to be their combat stats. The Skeletal Wyverns are a pretty hefty NPC. They're pretty tanky. Level 200 hit points, 125 attack, 116 strength, and 120 defense. Level 125 magic, and 120 range. As far as their defensive stats go, plus 140 to stab, 90 to slash and crush, 80 to magic, and plus 140 to range. So overall, you're probably going to want to use crush or slash here, but they are incredibly AFK for the ranged attack style, which makes them very good for money-making alts. So that's something to look at, even though they are tanky, but if you can afford to use a Dragon Hunter crossbow here, you can make a lot of money per hour. Up next, we're going to check out what kind of drops you can expect from the Skeletal Wyverns. So for the Skeletal Wyverns at the time of this video, each kill, including unique drops, is worth around 15,251 GP. Excluding the Draconic Visage, Plate Legs, Plate Skirt, and Granite Legs, that does go down to 14,135, but we're not really worried about that. I mean, that's still pretty good for a mid-level account making money. Now, most of the stuff here at the beginning of the drop table is going to be alchable, meaning you want to bring high alchemies with you, and we will talk about that in a bit. So Granite Legs, Dragon Plate Legs, and Dragon Plate Skirts for the pre-roll. As for the weapons and armor, Earth Battle Staffs, which are noted, so those stack in your inventory, Rune Axes, Rune Battle Axes, Rune Warhammers, Rune Full Helms, and Rune Kite Shields. They also do drop some runes and ammunition. The only thing you want to concern yourself with is the Rune Arrows, Chaos Runes, Laws, Deaths, and Blood Runes, Adamant Bolts, Runite Bolts, and the Soul Runes. You can leave the air and the water on the ground. They do drop grimy herbs from time to time, so it might be a good idea to bring a rune pouch with you if you want. Some people choose not to do this. As for the resources, Pure Essence, noted, Magic Logs, Adamant Bars, Iron Ores, Uncut Rubies, and Uncut Diamonds, all in noted form. They do hit the other drop table here: Lobsters, Prayer Potions, Unpowered Orbs, Runite Crossbows, Unstrungs, Renar Seeds, and Snapdragon Seeds, and their tertiary drop table features the Brimstone Key if you are on a Konar task, Glue Scrolls, which are elites, 1 in 350 for those, and the Draconic Visage at a rate of 1 in 10,000. As I said just a couple of minutes ago, the monster that I'm killing here and the weapon are all viewer voted in. So for this gear and inventory setups on my mid-level Zerker for the Skeletal Wyverns, I chose to go with the Guthix Blessed Coif, top, legs, and boots. Now these will give you prayer bonuses. They do drop prayer potions from time to time, so if you do get them, since you're going to be camping here, you might as well use them on Eagle Eye or Rigger, whatever you have. Ava's Accumulator, but if you have an Assembler upgrade, you should use that. Amulet of Fury. I'm going with Broad Bolts here because they are incredibly cheap. Very, very cheap, and it just ups your profit if you keep it cheaper here for an AFK moneymaker. Weapon of choice is going to be the Dragon Crossbow. My offhand is the Mind Shield because you need one of those against the Skeletal Wyverns. Once you get set up into a safe spot, you can actually switch something else on, like a Twisted Buckler or a Book of Law, whatever floats your boat. I'm using Barrow's Gloves, and my last item is an Archer's Ring Imbued. Over in the inventory, 8 Ranging Potions, and you can stay here for quite a while with 8 Ranging Potions. By the time you're done there, probably just bank, get some new ones, and come on back. Also, a Rune Pouch, 500 Nature Runes, and 2,000 Fire Runes. Now, depending on where you are in your account, you can either use a Drummond Staff or a Lunar Staff and teleport to the Fairy Ring AIQ, which will take you just south of the Wyvern Cave, or in my case, my house is in Remington, I just teleport there and run a little bit south. Next up, we can jump into the kills and profit statistics. So for this video, I ended up being able to kill 791 Skeletal Wyverns. As for my time spent, I spent the normal 20 hours here, and that ended up averaging me 39.55 kills per hour. Moving into the loot, not a bad haul here. So the first thing we have there is 2,966 platinum tokens. That is converted over from the gold coins, 2.966 mil, and this was all of the items that I alked throughout the 20 hours. 1,920 chaos runes, 1,125 death runes, 675 blood runes, 1,035 laws, and 180 soul runes. 1.6k adamant bolts, 941 rune bolts, 1,100 rune arrows, and into all of the other stackable noted items, 4,400 iron ore, 550 addy bars, 110 uncut rubies, 45 uncut diamonds. You guys get the idea. So total guide price, 10,350,524 GP. So that's not really too bad on a mid-level Zerker for 20 hours spent, but let's see what that averages out to. As for supplies, my only supplies used here were broad bolts and ranging potions. I didn't need to bring anything else with me. Prayer potions dropped along the way. I did use those for Eagle Eye when I did get the chance. Supplies only cost me 348,000 GP. As for my net profit, brings it down to just about an even 10 mil, which gives me 500,000 GP per hour. And as usual, I did keep track of the experience rates at the Skeletal Wyverns. Once again, my weapon of choice, or rather the viewer weapon of choice, was the Dragon Crossbow. For the total experience, only 632,800, which ended up averaging me 31,640 experience per hour. Overall, not that good, but the Skeletal Wyverns are not a place for XP, it is a place for AFK money making. As for my final thoughts, 500,000 GP an hour on a mid-level account is really nothing to turn up your nose at. Now, if you do have an Armadillo crossbow, or even the best in slot at the Skeletal Wyverns Dragon Hunter crossbow, you will inevitably see more profit per hour. With the Armadillo crossbow, you're probably looking at somewhere around 600,000, and when you move up to that Dragon Hunter crossbow, probably more in the area of about 750,000 GP per hour. As for experience, once again, not good for experience, but that is not why we're here. Skeletal Wyverns is one of the really true AFK moneymakers in old school RuneScape. So regardless of whether you think this is bad money per hour or if it's decent, it's a great place to come to really do that AFK money making thing. A lot of people have Skeletal Wyvern alts because it is so AFK and you have to pay such little attention to it. So everybody, that is going to wrap up this one. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you didn't know something, I hope that you learned something throughout this video. Don't forget, guys, there is always a link to my Discord and my clan chat name down in the description below. Pop in and say hi whenever you feel like. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up down below. They really help the video's popularity. If you haven't done so yet, you can tap the subscribe button on your way out to show support for the channel. As for a little bit more support, if you want to become a channel member, you can join the channel and you can get exclusive access to community member posts, which will announce in-game events with me. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you on the next one. Take it easy, everybody.